This week's Torah portion, Korach. Who doesn't know the famous story of the first attempted coup in Judaism? Right? This man, Korach, and all of his men, they come to Moses and say, why you? Why shouldn't we be ruling? Right? According to commentators, Korach, this attempted coup, is sourced in a political argument. And what does Korach come and say? Korach comes and says to Moses, we're all Kedoshim. God is in all of us, right? Why are you sort of, up on a pedestal? Why are you, Moses, above us? This is supposedly Korach's argument. It's a political one, but I'd like to offer a different interpretation. You see, when Korach comes, one of the difficulties I have with this is when Korach comes and says this. Now, we know Korach's a smart man, because, right, the Midrash, according to the different, stories telling us about the between the lines, we know that Korach knows his halacha backwards. He knows about how to make tzitzit, and he has different innovative ideas of, how we should be understanding the oral tradition. So he's a smart man, he has a brain in his head. So if Korach is such a smart person, wouldn't you think that he also knows that, he was in Mount Sinai with everyone else, there was the parting of the sea, there were the plagues in Egypt. Surely Korach knows that God chose Moses. Is a smart man like Korach really going to go up against Moses, the person that God chose? That doesn't make sense. Unless Korach's battle was with someone else. Unless Korach doesn't have an issue with Moshe, I think Korach might have an issue with God. Kind of like a sort of biblical Richard Dawkins, if you like. It's interesting also to look at Korach's name. Korach's name, the same letters Korach are also Chakar. He is a researcher, right? Choker is a researcher, and I think Korach doesn't believe there is a God. Because if he was such a smart person, and he believed in a God, how on earth would he have the guts to come and say to Moses, why you? How would he come and try and, shame him in front of all the Israelites? It's clear that God chose Moses. It's been clear since Egypt. We were all there. We saw the scenes of taking us out. Moses talking to Pharaoh. Clearly, Moses was chosen by God. So maybe Korach's issue isn't with Moshe, but it really is with God. His name Korach, which also means choker, I think has a lesson to teach us about the limits of research, the limits of logic, and that certain things are simply beyond logic and beyond what we can find through facts and through reality. Interestingly, if Korach's name has hidden in it the word chakar, research, what's hidden in Moshe's name, the supposed person he has a battle with? Moshe's letters are also Hashem. Korach's battle is with Hashem. The researcher's battle, he's seen everything that has happened. He has seen the plagues, he's seen the 10 Commandments. He says, I don't buy it. I can't understand it any other way. If he's really a smart person, I don't think he buys it. And this is perhaps also why Moses, for the first time in the Bible, how does he call God in this week's Torah portion? Moses is really pissed off and he says, Elohei HaRuchot, right? God of the winds. I think this is an echo of an argument we're not told between Korach and Moshe. I think a researcher like Korach comes and says to Moshe, you're God of the winds, you're Elohei HaRuchot, the one that you believe moves winds around. It has a negative connotation to it. It's a relic of what Korach, I think, said to Moshe. And this is perhaps also why God, in the most poetic justice punishment possible, how does he get rid of Korach and his minions? An earthquake. An earthquake! You could say it was natural, right? Talk about sense of humor. And what about the other 250 that are burnt with fire? The Bible tells us they were anyway lighting incense. So it happened. Only they know, however, swallowed up by the ground, we are told they are alive, under the ground in Sheol, perhaps in hell, learning their lesson. But I think a different interpretation on who Korach really has an issue with, perhaps the first atheist in the Bible, real issue with Hashem. Thoughts on Korach? Shabbat Shalom.